They rented the house for the weekend and found a room that wasn't on the floor plan, a door with no handle, beds with no shadows, photos that disappeared. By the time they realized someone else was inside, it was already too late because someone knew their names and one of them had already gone in. You're already here. Rain slammed against the windshield as if trying to talk them out of it. The three of them, Leah, Max, and Serge, watched the gray ribbon of road stretch deeper into the forest. Signal had vanished half an hour ago, and only the GPS kept stuttering. "You have arrived!" The house stood on a hill, old, wrapped in darkened planks, with a gabled roof and an attic window dripping water. The owner had promised in her messages a cozy family cottage, perfect for solitude. The photos were bright, spacious rooms, wooden floors, plaid blankets. But what they saw gave off more chill than charm. Leah noticed it first. The entryway didn't smell of wood, but of something damp, like an old basement. In the hallway, the lamp flickered, though no one had touched the light switch. Max unfolded the house map printed from the listing. Serge looked around. "Look," he whispered. "It says 3 bedrooms, but down the hall, 4 doors. Maybe a closet." "Check." They opened the door. Behind it, a narrow room with a metal bed frame. The bedding was neatly tucked in. But on the mattress, a clear, sunken imprint, as if someone had just gotten up. Nothing on the walls. No window, no outlets. The air was motionless. Max turned on the camera. Click. "Look!" Leah jabbed the screen. The photo didn't save, it just vanished. Serge reached for the door to close it, but it didn't move. Not in either direction. As if it had never been opened. And then, dust fell from the ceiling. Someone was walking above them. Only. The plan showed no second floor. By morning, everything looked normal. The rain had stopped. The house, wrapped in gray mist, seemed almost peaceful. Max brewed coffee. Serge grumbled that the pillow smelled like vinegar. Leah flipped through an old magazine left under the couch. No one mentioned the room, as if it had been a dream, or, worse, a misunderstanding. Serge went to check. The door was still there, still handleless, still silent. "Maybe it's just an old closet," he muttered and stepped out for a smoke. Leah went upstairs to the bathroom. It was cold. Not just chilly, cold like a meat locker. Steam from the hot water refused to cling to the mirror. The glass stayed dry, perfectly clear. She washed her face, leaned closer, and stopped. Her face looked pale. Eyes tired. But that wasn't what unnerved her. As a child, she'd often been mistaken for others. Lisa, Lena, Olya. In the orphanage, no one remembered names. Just the usual, "Hey girl, come here." Her name always sounded borrowed. Even now, as an adult, she didn't like to hear it spoken. As if it wasn't protection, but a target. On the mirror, from the inside, it seemed, a word appeared, slowly, as if traced by a finger through steam, from the other side. 5 letters. LIA? Leah jerked back, gasped. The mirror was dry. She ran her palm across it. Nothing. Smooth, cold. But when she looked again, the writing was gone. Downstairs, Max called up, "You're staring in the mirror again like it owes you an answer. Leah, you're here." She didn't reply. She left the bathroom, but turned back one last time. In the corner of the mirror, a single drop of water, as if someone had touched it, from the other side. Downstairs, she said she just hadn't slept well. Max tried to hug her. She pulled away. Something was wrong, deeply wrong. Serge came back pale. In his hand, a scrap of paper the wind had pressed to the porch. "Look." On it, the same name, typed LIA, and beneath it, a line in old typewriter font. "You're already here." Max looked at Leah. "Is this a joke?" She didn't answer, because for the first time in her life she felt she had already been chosen. And whoever it was, and they knew her name before she ever entered the house. And that was the part that scared her, because names are how they find you, and sometimes how they don't let go. No one felt like eating breakfast. Even the coffee sat untouched, going cold. Max tried to lighten the mood, looked for jokes on his phone, but there was no internet, no signal at all. He looked up, and for the first time noticed the antenna on the roof was broken, as if someone had cut the cable. "All right," he said, standing. "Let's check the house. For real this time." The room, fine. The writing in the mirror, maybe steam. But the note, maybe leftovers from past guests. Serge nodded. Leah stayed quiet. They started with the attic. The stairs were steep, nearly vertical. Before climbing, Serge muttered under his breath, "I hate attics. Ever since—" He stopped. No one asked what he meant. On the house plans Max had downloaded earlier, the attic wasn't marked, but there was a hatch, and it was open. Up there, it smelled of mold and damp. Dust danced in the rays of light sneaking through cracks in the roof. In the corner, an old trunk. Max approached first. The lid wasn't locked. Inside, odd items, a child's shoe, a broken doll missing one eye, a torn piece of newspaper. And on top, a notebook. Leah picked it up. Yellowed pages, thick, like parchment, all of them filled, neatly, in columns, names, surnames, dates. "It's," Serge whispered. "A list?" Leah turned the page. More names, same handwriting, almost calligraphic. One page near the middle held a faint inscription in the corner, scratched in by someone else. "Some only watch, some stay, some become the walls." The silence in the room grew heavier, like the air stiffened. Max leaned in. "Are we in there?" Leah flipped through the pages until she saw it. Leah Vir, 2 ноября, Max R, 2 ноября, Serge L, 2 ноября. She froze. Serge stepped closer, reading over her shoulder. "Today is the 2nd. They exchanged glances. Below their names, blank lines, no time, no notes. Max looked down, suddenly short of breath. "I wasn't even on the list, not even at my brother's funeral. And here, I'm listed. Only on the back of the final page, scrawled in shaky different handwriting, 'They must not leave.'" Max shut the notebook. "Someone's messing with us. The owners? A prank? A cult?" But Serge stared at the damp fingerprint on the cover, still fresh as if someone had held it just moments ago. They descended in silence. The handleless door still waited at the end of the hallway. Only now, it was slightly open. They didn't approach the door, just stood in the hallway, like in front of a cage holding something that no longer slept. The gap between the frame and door looked too dark, as if what lay inside wasn't absence of light, but something dense, heavy, pulling in the gaze. "We're not going in," Max said, turning away. "It's already too late," Leah whispered. "We're already there." Serge closed the door with a trembling hand. It moved easily, as if it had been waiting. But when he tried to open it again, it wouldn't budge, not an inch. Downstairs, they found an old photo album. It lay on the dresser, under a lace doily, like a memorial. Max opened it carefully. First photo, a family in front of a house. A man, a woman, 2 kids. Faded, black and white. Second, same family, but one child now sat separately, off to the side, as if cut out and pasted later. Third, the woman alone, on the porch, half-turned face. Leah leaned closer. "Wait, the magazine in her hands. It's this one." She rushed to the couch and grabbed the magazine she'd been flipping through that morning. Exactly the same. Bent corner, stain on the cover. The woman in the photo held it the same way. Even her fingers curved the same. Fourth photo. The house. This house. But the windows boarded up. "Look," Leah whispered. "The shadow." In the photo with the woman, behind her in the window, a face. a shadow or silhouette. But when she blinked and looked again, the face was gone. Max took the album to the window, trying to match the camera angle. I don't get it. This shot's from here, but in the picture, there are no bushes. Now, there are. He pulled out his phone. Click, click. They looked at the screen. Nothing, he said. No photo, no file, nothing in the gallery, nothing in the cloud. Are you sure you took it? Serge asked. I saw the flash. He aimed again, and all three of them, in the reflection of the window, saw something flicker behind them. Max spun. Nothing. But under the dresser, a fresh photo lay. Already developed, he picked it up. It showed the three of them, taken just now. And between them, another silhouette, blurred, faceless. At the bottom, the date, 2nd of November, and handwritten, it's already too late, already inside. Below that, in deeper pressure, almost carved into the paper, you watch, he records. Max tightened his grip on the photo, eyes still fixed on the shape. Interesting. Who's the photographer here? I'd order a portrait, just to ask how he knows me. They began to pack. No discussion, no panic, just silence. But every attempt to leave the house ended the same way. The fog thickened into an impenetrable wall, like a living barrier. The GPS showed them standing in water, as if the house were adrift somewhere beyond roads. Max slammed his palm on the steering wheel. We can't leave, but someone clearly wants us to stay. Serge, nervously smoking on the porch, noticed something strange. In the corner of the veranda lay an old radio, military style, worn, its paint chipped. The antenna was bent, buttons broken. Where did you find that? Max asked. Me? Nowhere, it just was there. Just now. Leah picked it up. Nothing, dead. But the moment she placed it on the windowsill, a faint crackle, like breath. Then water static, and a voice, very soft, raspy, as if speaking through water. 3rd floor. Don't open! Max jolted. What? Don't fall for it. She's no longer with you. He feeds on what you don't say, don't remember, don't say names. Who is this? Leah cried, grabbing the radio. Silence, then more static. She thinks her name is Leah, but it used to be something else. The radio went quiet. Serge turned pale. This house has 2 floors, no 3rd. Max stood slowly. Let's check. They searched the house, climbing creaky stairs, but it all ended with the attic. Empty. No signs. Leah stood at the landing, eyes fixed on the ceiling. Wait. She stepped to the wall. The wooden slats broke pattern. Look, is this a doorway? Serge ran his hand across it. One plank shifted. Click. A narrow gap opened, like a forgotten seam. Inside, stairs, stone, leading down. The coal hit them in the face, like from a crypt. Serge hesitated. He stared into the darkness. Then said, You think it's just a place? I've been in places. He exhaled. But this is like a person, without skin. Leah stepped forward, but Max stopped her. You heard what it said? I did, but now I want to hear more. She descended first, and by the 2nd turn the walls began to change, from wooden to bare stone. It smelled of metal, like an old hospital. The steps trembled beneath their feet. Light barely reached downward, and as if refusing to go. And suddenly it was clear. This staircase didn't just lead downward. It led to where you remained, exactly as you'd been seen. At the bottom step lay another radio, this one working, and it breathed, as if someone was waiting. The staircase ended in a dead end, a stone wall. No door, no crack. But the air shifted, as if someone was breathing behind the wall. The radio in Leah's hand crackled again, scraping. Then, The voice, now closer. They see you, already from the inside. Leah clutched the radio to her chest. Behind her, Max and Serge checked the walls. Smooth. Then, a groan, as if the floor beneath them exhaled. The light went out. Total darkness. Max fumbled for the flashlight on his phone, clicked it on. 3 of them stood there, but 4 shadows fell on the wall. On the stone, like glass, the flashlight drew silhouettes. Leah in the middle, Max to the right, Serge to the left, and the 4th shadow in behind them, tall, narrow, with an elongated head. "Who is that?" Serge whispered. The shadow didn't move, but it breathed. A faint mist wavered in the air. Leah turned around slowly. No one behind her. Just bare wall. But when she looked back, her face had appeared in the stone. Not a reflection, a duplicate, eyes closed, expression still. As if someone had remembered her. And suddenly she remembered there were no mirrors in the orphanage. Not one. She'd always feared that one day she would see someone else in the reflection. Or worse, see no one. "It's not a mirror," she whispered. "It's like skin. Something beneath it." Max stepped back and felt something soft. A creak. Under his foot. A book. The notebook. How? They'd left it upstairs. He opened it. But now, no list. Only photographs. Old. Black and white. First photo in the 3 of them. At breakfast. Second, in the hallway. Third, at the stairs. Everything that had happened today. Leah flipped the pages, then stopped. "Serge!" "What?" She showed him a photo. A boy, maybe 8 years old, sitting on the steps of this very house. Narrow shoulders, cropped pants, and the same eyes. "Is that you?" Serge stared. Long, then looked away. "I don't remember." But the skin on his neck bristled. Or, "I don't want to." The final photo, an empty room, no people, but handprints on the wall, small, like a child's. Caption, "They don't leave, they just freeze." Leah looked up. The wall in front of her had changed, now clear like ice. Behind it, a room. Empty, same table, same blankets, but no one moved. And in the chair, herself, eyes open. "Max? Serge?" No answer. The light flickered. Shadows vanished. The radio in her hand turned on by itself. And the voice, now familiar but cold and steady. "Mirrors are for those who don't know where they are." "You are already inside." Leah stepped back, inhaled, then again. Her hand trembled. She turned, started walking toward the stairs. A moment later, I'm on another step. Same breath, same tremble, same turn of the head. Like a loop, as if playing herself, and with each new loop, she faded, just slightly. Like a photo reprinted too many times. A week later, the real estate agent, Mrs. Kellner, returned to the property. She needed to return the key to the owners. The house stood just as before. Gray, flaking, shutters shut, porch crumbling. Inside were cold, as if the house hadn't been abandoned but had cooled down. She walked through the rooms out of habit, as she'd done dozens of times. Bedrooms, kitchen, attic. The silence was so thick, even the creaking floorboards whispered. In the hallway, something caught her eye. The floor plan, always posted by the door. A simple layout. Rectangle, 3 bedrooms, bathroom, living room. Only now, at the bottom, a new room. A tiny square in the corner, handwritten, "Observation room." Mrs. Kellner squinted. That wasn't there before. She was sure she'd ordered the print herself. She touched the paper. The ink was fresh. The handwriting looked like a child's. For a second, she thought the wall beside her pulsed, as if breathing. She hurried to the door. On the porch, she paused to close her umbrella and glanced back at the house one last time. In the rearview mirror, 3 figures. Leah, Maximum, Serge, standing at the door, smiling silently. She blinked. They were gone. The engine sputtered before starting. The radio, silent. In the glove box, something rustled. A tape, dusty, unlabeled. She slid it in without thinking, crackling. Then a voice, neither male nor female, raspy as if breathing through plastic. You're the next line. Don't close the door. Kellner slammed the stop button. The tape rewound on its own and played again. She shut off the stereo. Next morning in the office, she sifted through paperwork. Her hand brushed a thin object, a photograph, black and white, matte finish. In it, herself, sitting in a chair, in that very house, holding a cup, smiling, looking straight at the camera. She had never taken that photo, but her eyes recognized something, as if someone had already seen her, too clearly and too long ago. On the back, handwritten, don't close the door.